Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Matty Highland Smitty McQueen Sports Show. Here it is Thursday, Matt. We got a great topic. Sorry we were not available yesterday. Just a lot of stuff going on for us, and I know a lot of people, we're busy, so good to be back on the air, though, isn't it? I mean, it's we're ready to go. Hope you guys are. Matt, you just want to get us started.
I do. Well, our first topic tonight is going to be Thursday Night Football. We've got a division matchup between the Cleveland Browns, who are 0-9, and the Baltimore Ravens, who are 4-4. I will make my pick right now because there's not much to be said about this.
Let's hear it.
I'm sorry, Browns fans, but more than 20 quarterbacks.
What's the final score?
So just recent period. I would say Baltimore wins 24-17. Cleveland might get a few touchdowns from like Duke Johnson or Terrell Pryor, but against Mike Wallace and Joe Flacco on the other side of the ball for the Ravens, oof.
Well, and Matt, you got to look at this. When have we had a good Thursday night game besides opening night? There has not been really a good Thursday night game. The Browns 0-9, I'm sorry, they don't get that first one this week. Not even close. I'm sorry, Browns fans. I am very sorry. The dog pound, I think it's back to the days, which I should have prepared myself better for this show, but I would right now put a brown paper bag on my head, the cutout with the seat. It's that awful. I would not want my face shown. I'm horrible today, I guess, about the Browns. I have been ever since the show started. There's no way. And the Ravens are ahead now, leading in the AFC, in their division.
AFC North.
In the North, yeah, and with the big win against Seattle last week, and I don't see that happening tonight, them dropping to the Browns. So, I got 35-10 Ravens. I think it's going to be that bad. Probably one of those games where I'll watch maybe a quarter or two and then, hey, better get stuff prepared for tomorrow's show. I mean, that's how bad it's been lately. We do got some college football games tonight. A couple ranked teams, no ranked matchups, but a couple ranked teams playing. You got North Carolina, ranked 17th in the nation, 7-2. They travel to Duke, big ACC showdown. Duke's 3-6. Who do you have?
I see this more as a basketball matchup,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that shortly.
These schools play football?
Yeah.
Just kidding, by the way. I would have to go with North Carolina. They've played some tough competition this year with
they really
Florida
have.
State and Clemson and Louisville. I think they get the win 35-14 because they have some offense more so than Duke does.
35-14.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I've got UNC, and I got a pretty big 42-10. It's at Duke. I mean, Duke was good a few years back, made a bowl game, actually competed. And I think that they almost beat A&M, but Johnny Football came through in the later part of the game and made a miraculous comeback. Yeah, I think North Carolina's too much. We got the 15th ranked Utah Utes.
Yes.
Going to Arizona State, play the Devils. Is this a catch game for them? Is this one they could drop?
No, I don't believe so. Arizona State will put up a fight. It's more evenly matched up than UNC and Duke. I've got to go with Utah. I watched them play this year against UCLA, and they were good. And the Chiefs quarterback went there and was the #1 overall pick in 2005. So I got to cheer on the Utes.
Yeah.
I have them winning 42-17. It's a much more spread out game, even though it's a lot closer record.
Yeah. I've got 35-17. So a touchdown difference. Not big at all, but Arizona State, they've been known for their quarterbacks lately. So, good passing quarterbacks. Brock Osweiler, he's kind of
Yeah, I agree with that.
A big one. So, yeah, that's who I got tonight.
Our next thing, we stick with college football, but we'll start looking at more so in the next few weeks, leading up all the way to the Heisman Award. We got some candidates now. We picked 4 of them who are most likely to be. So, like 3 of the 4 will be finalists.
Yeah.
So far, right now, you never know if
Someone gets
hurt
upset
or something happens. I believe we've got Lamar Jackson from Louisville. He has a big time offensive attack just himself.
Yeah.
He's got a total of 45 touchdowns this year and only 6 interceptions, 26 passing and 19 rushing. That's impressive.
That's
then you've
really
got
good.
Jake Browning from Washington, who's getting more consideration now that Washington is getting looked at more. Now they're
I
like 4
agree.
in the playoff
I agree.
predictions. He's got 38 total touchdowns. He's more of a passing quarterback. He's got 34 passing touchdowns, and he's running in 4 times for a touchdown. Then you got last year's Heisman hopeful, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
From Clemson.
And he's going
back
to be there.
again. He's consistent. That's what's good. He's got 24 passing TDs and 2 rushing.
Yeah, which I was surprised by his rushing.
Yeah, you would think that'd be he'd be higher, just like it was last year.
Also, he's projected to be the number 1 quarterback taken in the draft.
That is
it's
true.
way too early, but
That's not till April, but
yeah.
we'll think about that later. And then you have the most versatile player in college football, Jabril Peppers from Michigan. Our friend Eric Harrington keeps talking about him over and over. He says that he needs to win the Heisman. He deserves it more than Lamar Jackson. But I'm going to go with my pick here.
Yeah,
I say Lamar Jackson from Louisville.
I gotta agree.
He came out of nowhere with the 45 touchdowns right now.
Yeah, and I know Eric's gonna be upset, and if you're a Michigan fan, you're gonna be upset at me, but I've got Browning. He might still come up and get Lamar Jackson. And I think the reason why is if Washington wins out and he keeps putting up big numbers, I mean, you might want to watch out because if Lamar Jackson was to struggle here a game and lose a game, I think Jake Browning's right there. But, we still got a few weeks until college football is over and before the finalists are announced. I think everyone's going to pick Lamar Jackson right now. And I think everyone that follows college football, easy consideration, Lamar Jackson is that guy.
Yes.
I think without a doubt. But don't count Jake Browning out. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now.
Yes.
You cannot count him out.
That is true.
Matt, we're going to go ahead and not a lot of people probably follow this much, but
You've got, speaking of Eric Harrington, he's from Michigan. He's a big hockey fan.
yeah,
Because everybody from up north, more towards Canada, they love their hockey. I don't blame them. It's like ice up there.
yeah,
And snow.
it is.
And we'll start talking about the NHL more as we go throughout the year.
Try to get maybe a Thursday segment on the NHL. But this day in sports, 1934, penalty shot was added to the NHL, so we're going to just kind of lead into our NHL segment by that day in sports. And I've thought about it, and maybe you guys would like it, but I was thinking maybe we could do like a this day in sports every day, if we can find something that's, pretty popular and consistent and stuff to our shows, just to throw out some history facts for the fans,
Yeah.
They might like that. But, Matt, so far, who's your biggest surprise in the NHL?
So far, I've looked at it just a little bit. I've been focused on NFL.
Yeah.
I think, at least in the East, is the Canadians in Montreal. They're 11-1-1.
I got them
right
too.
now.
23 points already.
Yeah, 8-0 at home.
Yeah.
That really helps.
Yep.
And then you switch over to the Western Conference, and I am taking Vancouver. They're a big surprise because they're shocking everybody now. like I've heard in the past that they've been a decent team.
They
Now
have.
they're
They've
back
been
down,
known.
so
Yeah, they have been known. Mine's Edmonton Oilers. They're currently second in the West. They're 9-4-1 with 19 points. The Canadian teams are starting to play some hockey. Lately,
yes,
they have not been able to get a Stanley Cup. This might be a year that you see Canadian team playing for the Cup, and they might even get it. I still think there's some other teams out there that are better, that have more talent, and just they don't match up. These teams don't match up with those top tier teams that have been consistent for many years. You look back to the Canadians. Last season they went 38-38-6 with 82 points. Finished 13th in the East. So I mean, that's so far so good.
They're first though.
So far so good.
Surprise, yes.
Edmonton, they are in second, we said, and last year in the West they finished 31-43-8 with 70 points. They finished dead last. And they are all the way up to second so far. I know it's early in hockey. There's so many more games, kind of like NBA. We were talking about the Knicks.
First week.
Talked about the Knicks and stuff, how they've been they're starting to finally pick up their game and starting to play. And we'll get into NBA more next week because I know there's some big games out there. My biggest disappointment, I'm just going to go ahead and lead into that, is the Florida Panthers in the East. Currently 12th. Finished third last season in the East. They're 6-6-1, so 500. Finishing third and currently 12th right now. Like I said, it's very early, but things can change. Like I said, this is very early. So if you are a fan of any of these teams, if you follow NHL, don't sweat yet. Just yet. I'm going to go ahead and say that. The Western Conference, though, biggest disappointment is the Dallas Stars. 4-6-3 right now, currently 10th in the West. They finished first last season in the West. And Dallas Stars have been known for a few years back in the 90s, early 2000s. They went 50-23-9 last year. One of the best records in hockey. And they're right now in 10th place in the West. They have got to pick up their game. Do you disagree? Do you have someone different?
In the West, I agree with the Stars.
There's another team.
They're first. They were first last year.
Yeah.
Now they've dropped off a little bit, but you can't judge them.
Yep.
In the East, I've got the Toronto Maple Leafs. I've heard about them for years now that I've watched, sort of followed hockey. They're 5-5-3 this year. I knew they were good last year. I can't remember the record per se, but you'd think that they're not being stereotypical here, but Canadians, they're good at hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have a decent team. Don't want to speculate anything, but it's early in the season. We'll see how it plays out. Hopefully they do better.
Yeah.
Pick it up towards the end.
I agree.
Middle of the season, yeah.
The other team I'm kind of thinking needs to be doing better is the Los Angeles Kings. They've been a powerhouse for many years.
That's true.
They're not the same right now, but I expect them to be there in the end. I'll go ahead and say that right now. Expect them to be there in the end. Who's your favorites to come out of the East and Western Conference?
So I'm going against what the consensus of the U.S. and Canada like. I'm going with the New York Rangers.
Surprise!
It's a big surprise. I've got them over like the Penguins. Or Oilers and stuff and things like that. But in the West, I also have a shocker. The dark horse this year is going to be the St. Louis Blues.
Okay.
Because
they've been.
I just think we need a different change of pace in the Western Conference. We'll see how it plays out. They're second right now, right behind the Blackhawks. So well, I'm counting on them to do some big things this year. They don't have a football team anymore in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So everybody's got to cheer for the Blues now.
That's very true.
Like more so than they did when the Rams were in town.
Yeah, for sure. I've got in the East everyone's favorite, fan favorite player also, I think, in the league. And that is Sid the Kid Crosby.
Yes.
I got the Pittsburgh Penguins, the defending champs. But in my Western Conference, I kind of like a couple teams in hockey, and they're both in the West. But I love the Avalanche. They are letting me down big time this year. I do not like what they're doing. My buddy Michael, out in Colorado, me and him talk all the time. Talk some about the Avs. He's always at games, and I'm just like, man, they're struggling. Like, this is not good. But my other favorite team, I still think they're the best team in hockey, and that is the Chicago Blackhawks. They have been there the last 5 years. I got the Penguins and the Blackhawks. Another young, great, exciting player, Patrick Kane. He's right up there. So you got to go with them. And then winning it all, I've got the Blackhawks in 6.
Over who?
The Penguins.
Penguins. Okay. Duh. I should.
Yeah,
that's a good prediction. It's consistent every year, but I'd have to go the St. Louis Blues over
Gotta
the New
take
York
the
Rangers.
Blues, man.
Yes, they're close to home because there's no team in Kansas City, so that's who my team would be. I think the Blues in 5 this year.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think the Blues can do it. Both those teams played last night. Hawks won 2-1 in overtime. So, big one. Big win for the Blackhawks on the road. So, Matt, we're gonna talk a little now. We didn't have this really in our picture that was sent out earlier today, but it's just some other. I was looking at ESPN today. At some marquee games tonight in the NBA, and there's one specific game where I'm excited to see. I'm ready to see how this goes when they go back home. But tonight you got D Wade returning to Miami to face his former team, who he had been drafted by, the Miami Heat. Bulls go in 4-4. Heat go in 2-4. What do you think? Do you think he's going to get applause, like a bunch of round of applause, standing O? Do you think he's going to get booed? Do you think mixed? What do you think?
Since he was drafted in 03 and he was there for 12 years, and he's a veteran in this league, he's well respected across the whole league. I think he'll get his respect tonight going down to Miami. Unlike Kevin Durant might go to Oklahoma City this year.
Yeah.
But
which I can't
he
wait
is a
for.
class act. I like him very much. Our friend Ernest is a big Dwayne Wade fan, so I'm sure he has some mixed feelings about who he wants to win there.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
I think he's going to get a standing O.
Yes,
I really do.
yes.
He brought that team some championships. Yes, LeBron and Bosh joined him. The biggest thing is having Dwayne Wade and the owner. Why can't I'm going blank? But having Wade go back to his stomping grounds against Riley, how do you think that's going to go? Because there is talks that they have not talked in a long time. And that's why I think Dwayne Wade decided to pack his bags and go back home to Chicago, is because him and Riley were not on the same page.
Yes.
Do you think they'll talk tonight? Do you think anything?
Being the guy Dwayne Wade is, I believe he'll go up and talk.
Yeah.
I feel like he has that notion to go, hey, I need a light bulb in his head. Hey, I just need to go make amends with him or get closure with him. See what's up, buddy. He was there for a long time.
Yeah, he was. Who do you have winning?
I gotta go with the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, I do too.
The Heat are falling apart. They're rebuilding.
Yeah,
now that Wade's gone and LeBron James is gone. So
I agree. One other quick thing while we're on the NBA. New Orleans Pelicans 0-8 and the Philadelphia 76ers 0-7. Who is the worst team? You got young teams on. Both of those are young teams. They've been in every game.
Like, you can't just base them off individuals because I say the Pelicans, they have Anthony Davis, who's very good. The 76ers are very young, and they've got Joel Embiid finally. They've been in almost every single game this year.
Yeah.
I think the Pelicans, as a team, as a whole, are worse than the 76ers.
Do you?
Yes.
See, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. And the only reason is I feel like the West is harder than the East.
It is. I
And
agree.
so that's why I'm going to go ahead and give the edge that the Pelicans, they've lost their difference margin in games, like their points difference is minus 7.6. 76ers minus 12.7. 76ers, I think, are going to, both these teams, I feel like, are going to be great in the upcoming years, especially the 76ers.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Because
Nerlens Noel comes
yeah,
back.
when he gets healthy, when everyone's healthy, this team can click, and I think they're going to be good.
Yes.
You know, they had to wait a few years to get even Embiid, and now we're seeing Embiid, and from college to now, it's like,
whoa,
holy cow, he's been, so,
he's been eating a little bit more.
yeah, and so I don't see, you know, the 76ers set that record last year for most losing games in a row, losing streak, you know. I don't see any of that happening this year with them, and I don't think it's going to happen with Pelicans. And we'll talk more NBA next week, hopefully.
Yes, on Monday when we do.
Yeah, yeah. So
now we switch some gears. We'll look ahead to tomorrow's show. It's Football Friday for one, but before that, make sure you go vote on our Twitter page for what you think might be the best NCAA matchup this weekend. We got a poll out right now. We'll also have a pull up again at 11 a.m. for you guys to vote on what might be the best NFL matchup this weekend. Go Chiefs. Football Fridays. We'll have NFL pick'ems. We'll have some
excited for it.
Matchups to pick, big time matchups to pick this weekend. Any other NFL news, and then we'll also talk about NCAA pick'ems and their matchups, marquee matchups this weekend.
They get underway tomorrow.
Yeah, and
some
then
big games
tomorrow night. NCAA basketball begins. KU, Indiana, Arizona, Michigan State, or Arizona, Michigan State.
Yeah.
Over on the Armed Forces Classic. So.
Yeah, both of those ranked teams matching up.
Oh,
night one.
Can't get any better.
No, it really can't.
Brand new uniform.
Oh, baby, look at all them fans, man. I'm ready for college basketball. Dickie D. Oh, baby, I'm ready to bring out the Dick Vitale voice. You know, and I know my classmates, they're gonna love it. And then we'll have more, hopefully, sporting event, talks, breaking news, stuff like that. Make sure you do go vote on that Twitter page. Tell all your friends about us. Share our stuff. We love when you guys do that. And really, I guess that's all I got. You got anything else?
No, just there's still a Twitter poll for tonight's game, the Browns and Ravens.
That's still up for a couple hours. I'll check that out real quick. See if we got any poll updates. Load if it'll load. We got the Ravens right now leading the Browns 70% to 30.
That's good. Okay.
And got some votes on our college football games this weekend. Hopefully you guys all get out there and vote, and we'll get our matchup set. And that's all I got, Matt.
Yeah, make sure to follow us on Twitter at MHSM Sports Show, and look up on our Facebook page and go like it. It is Matty Highland Smitty McQueen Sports Show. We've got our YouTube page up. Go and subscribe, and make sure you share our videos as well. We appreciate it. From Smitty McQueen and Matty Highland, thank you and have a good night.